What's up everyone, welcome to Akuma's Arsenal, and today we are discussing and reviewing the Omega Seamster.
I got propane in my ABC. I know all about my plug, he's a low life. I know all about my bitch, she's a low life. I know all about myself, I ain't one of them. Across the street when you see them boys, I run with them. Fucking finesse the ride bouncer, I ain't come with them, ayy. Hey, I am buffering the necks and down the substances, ayy. The devil knows I'm driving through my stomach, man.
So this watch has been kindly lent to me by Abe, so thank you very much, Abe. He lent me this among a few other watches. However, this is the one that has really caught my attention and caught my eye. Obviously. You know, because as a young dude, you know, I really like Omega. I watch James Bond films. I watch Spectre. You know, I like to travel. I like to pretend I'm a womanizer. You know, James Bond's a cool dude, and a lot of people from old to young, you know, look at him and like, he's filthy. I'd like to learn. I'd like to be more like that character. And when I put this watch on, I feel I don't feel any different really, but maybe like there's like a 1% difference, and that 1% difference is towards the direction of James Bond, if that makes any sense. You know, this watch makes me feel really damn cool. This is what I would like to call the young man's watch. It's a stunning piece, and let's take a closer look at it. Here's the Seamster. As you can tell, I'm not using it on the bracelet, and first of all, let's take a look at the bracelet. The bracelet, this one's really scratched up. Abe probably you know, wears it a ton. Solid end links, very solid, of course. No rattle. I mean, maybe a little bit, but definitely just a solid bracelet. Very clean, slick. I'm not wearing it only because it's a bit too big for me. Has too many links on there. I have very small wrists. The clasp is just a single push clasp. However, you can just tell it's machined very well. Nice click, and that little action right there just makes this feel like a much more expensive. Just the way it feels, the way it looks, makes this bracelet feel luxury. This is a luxury timepiece, and definitely the bracelet reflects that. Just in short, the bracelet's good. Don't worry about it, guys. It's a very nice clasp. Kind of, I don't even know what kind of design that is, but I like the bracelet. Nothing else really to it. Let's get on to the watch. So here's the Seamster up close, my friends. Look at that. Just a stunning timepiece, really. First of all, it is a diving watch, so let's take a look at that bezel. And it's probably harder to, you probably can even tell through video, just like how solid feeling this bezel is. It's the perfect amount of easy to click and also feeling solid at the same time. Definitely the best bezel that I've ever felt on a watch, period. Just a very solid feeling bezel. Let's talk about the aesthetics of the watch. Signed Omega on the crown. Of course, there's a helium escape valve, and if you look very closely, there's an H and a valve to say that. I think that's at first when I looked at it, I was like, what is that H for? But then I was like, oh, helium escape valve. Stunning, look at that, those scalloped edges. It's very modern, very young. I could just see, you know, a young 25-year-old heading off to work or heading off to some adventure or doing something, you know. I mean, I'm a young man too. However, this is out of my price range, so just the thing is though, it's out of my price range right now, but as a young man, you know, you're trying to climb the economic ladder, you know, trying to gain more money, you're trying to start businesses, you're going to college, you know, you're doing something. And this is a great watch to complement like you not starting, but you know, becoming more established in your journey. This is the midsize, 36.25 millimeters. Speaking of the size, that doesn't really make sense. We're gonna talk about the movement. It's a chronometer certified, coaxial, caliber 2500. It's a very, very, very accurate timepiece. Abe said it was getting about 1 second a day, plus or minus 1 second a day from it, which I'm not surprised at all. Very, 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 very cool movement. Coaxial is like I'm not exactly for sure, but basically coaxial is like, so there's a part in the watch, you know, the gear, some part in the watch that has two gears rubbing against each other. Coaxial separates those two gears or whatever, and so you don't need to have any lubricant, so there's basically a lot less wear on the movement. I think it beats a lot slower too. I'm not exactly a movement geek, so I'm not really as experienced as a lot of other people with that, so if you guys could give more information about what coaxial means and what it is, you know, I would love to you know, check that out. I did check the Wikipedia links, but all that stuff was just over my head. However, most people probably won't care too much about that. The dial has a really, really nice, as you can see here, it's anti-reflective, and that light on a lot of other watches would be glaring at it. But the dial, sometimes I get confused and think that it's the crystal reflecting, but the polish of the dial has a nice kind of reflection to it too. It's very, very, very subtle. This is obviously the black version, but sometimes that dial just, I kind of think it's blue sometimes, like a really, really, really dark hue blue, but it's a very, very, very deep black. So it's a very, 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 very dark dial. Obviously the dial has dashes and circles, obviously. Let's just take a look at that. I look at the Omega logo. It kind of has like a nice kind of, you know, glare to it. I really, really do like it. This watch is just, I feel like James Bond, you know? I'm about to kick in doors. I'm about to hit up my girlfriend and give her a high five and take her out to eat and take her home. You know, I feel like a badass when I wear this. And it's a stunning watch. You know, look at those lugs. They kind of look like they've been twisted almost. It's like, you know, rink, rink, rink. You know, that's how they got the lugs the way they look, and just, you know, a lot of variation on the case. Even on the edges here, there's a nice, you know, kind of cut. It almost looks like the metal was cut, but, you know, polished to that end of that dial makes it look really, really, really sharp, and that has to do with its kind of modern look to it. You know, those sharp cuts on the dial and on the lugs. Just a very, very gorgeous piece. I don't know if I don't think I have yet. Let's check out the manual wind. I think the cracking it's telling me to stop winding it, but basically the reason why you guys can hear jack squat of that manual wind is because the movement is really, really smooth. I think it's the quietest movement that I've ever handled. Personally, I don't get very satisfied when I wind it. Maybe that's because I'm used to a lot of movements that have like a good amount of feedback, like the Sarb or even Rolexes or any watches in general. They have like a nice kind of feedback to it. This one, for some reason, doesn't have much of a feedback. Not exactly for sure why. Speaking more of the movement and how it feels, and does have hacking, as you can see there. So if you can get that accurate time set on your timepiece. Let's take a look at that at the back. I'll include you know what? Include some pictures of the movement now. So here we are at the back, everybody. If we see here, it says, I really like the way this back looks. It's really, really cool. The Seamster has the little Omega thing, Omega logo right there, and it has a kind of a Greek style, is that a seahorse? Yeah, Greek style seahorse in there. You know, wonder why? Oh, because Omega is a Greek symbol. That's a really, really cool touch. Kind of a throwback to the Greek heritage of Omega. Wow, that's so cool. That's really, really cool. Signed there too. Looks like it's been etched in. I really, really do like the back. The wave is reminiscent of the older Seamasters and the kind of wavy dial on them. Very, very, very cool. Is it even older Seamasters, or is it just other model Seamasters? I don't really know. haven't handled too many Omegas. So, just in short, just a lovely, iconic piece. It'll make you feel cool, not because it's of the price range or anything like that, or the brand, or maybe, but you know, it makes you feel cool because James Bond wore one of these. It makes you feel cool because this is probably your first, you know, luxury timepiece. This makes you feel cool because, you know, it's just, this whole watch is just the adventurous young man's watch, you know. Lovely, lovely piece. This watch to me is the young man striking out on his journey watch. You know, he's built up a little bit of wealth for himself. You know, got his first job, his business is starting to take off, you know, and he wants to commemorate that occasion. Maybe he graduated from college. He wants to, you know, he wants to celebrate that occasion with a nice wristwatch, and I could definitely see the Omega Seamster being there. I think Omega is doing a very, very good job with their marketing, because just by the pure fact that I feel like James Bond when I wear this watch just has a huge testament to the team of marketing at Omega. I think they're doing a pretty good job with the Bond stuff. I don't know. I think some people think that it's less prestigious for them, but for me, as a young dude, I think it's cool. I think it's cool as hell. You know, just the feeling I get when I wear this, you know, I might pick one of these up. On top of that, of course, it's a beautiful watch. It's accurate. It's everything a mechanical timepiece should be. It's luxurious. You know, you can be in any situation with this timepiece. You could be at dinner, going out to dinner. You could be at work. You could be surfing. You could be doing so many different variety of tasks with this watch. Abe was telling me that he doesn't wear it to work because in his culture, it's you don't want to have things or items that just are more luxurious than your boss's. So he doesn't wear this watch to work. So, you know, what? But you know, that's really, really cool, interesting thing about Abe's culture. He's from Indonesia. A little thing that I didn't know about that before. But Abe, you got a really, really nice timepiece. It's a really, really stunning piece, and you're very, very fortunate to have it. Anyone who has an Omega Seamster is definitely fortunate to have it. It's a stunning timepiece. I'm very, very thankful and grateful that I've been able to wear this for the past few days. Yeah. Oh, let's take a Lume shot. Insert a Lume shot here. And that wraps up my concluding thoughts, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. If any comments, you want to let me know what you think about the Omega Seamster, feel free to leave me a comment down below. There'll also be a link if you guys want to check out some of the eBay listings. Thank you very, very much for watching, and enjoy the outro.